Welcome to the Manifest Your Greatness podcast. Practical and actionable steps that you can take to help manifest the greatness that you already possess deep inside. Hi everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to join this episode of the Manifest Your Greatness podcast, where we explore practical and actionable steps that you can take to help manifest the greatness that you already possess deep inside. And before we dig into today's topic, I wanted to preface today's episode by acknowledging that I often emphasize the importance of an established routine. Now, establishing a routine offers numerous benefits that contribute to a more organized, balanced, and fulfilling life. By incorporating structure, consistency, and healthy habits into your daily routines, you can optimize your time and reduce stress and cultivate greater well-being in all aspects of your life. But there's also a cost to carrying out a life that is pretty much the same and very predictable from one day to the next. Of course, by having a well-planned daily routine, time often feels more structured and predictable. And the repetition of familiar tasks and activities can create a sense of time passing smoothly and consistently. But when time passes by too predictably and too smoothly, no particular moments during that time stand out. Creativity can also suffer, as sticking to regularly scheduled events often means doing planned tasks that don't promote exciting incentives to infuse new ideas into your routine. Another unwelcome side effect is a feeling of time compression. Routine tasks may feel like they pass quickly or blur together, especially when they become habitual. This can sometimes lead to a perception of time flying by without much notice. The irony here is that since the very purpose of scheduling routines is to keep your day predictable, you've inadvertently smoothed out most, if not all, opportunities for spontaneous excitement. So while following a routine, you're likely completing tasks efficiently, hours can pass without much awareness of how time is actually spent. As a result, the days of the week seem to blur together. So Tuesdays pretty much play out like Mondays did, and when we look at the coming Wednesday's schedule, it looks very similar to last week Wednesday's. So yes, routines do help us streamline daily activities by creating structure and order. And knowing what to expect and when to do what reduces decision fatigue and allows for smoother transitions between tasks. But there's also an argument to be made for proactively blowing up your routine from time to time and doing something very hard and very different from what you do each day. I actively practiced Aikido for a number of years, and like most martial arts, there's a lot of attention paid to repetition. Repetition, of course, is key to refining technique and also to developing muscle memory. Because ultimately, when you find yourself in a potentially dangerous situation, you want your body to perform self-defense techniques skillfully and without any hesitation. Sometimes we spent an entire class working on a single technique. We performed it over and over again. And since everyone attacks differently and everyone has a different physique, we practiced with many different partners. We did this over and over again until the techniques flowed automatically. But we also emphasized the importance of taking a break from routine and to do something extremely difficult and totally different from what we practice each day on the mat. And that act is called Misogi. Misogi is a Japanese term that refers to a purification ritual or practice. The practice of Misogi aims to cleanse the mind, body, and spirit of impurities, both physical and spiritual, in order to achieve spiritual renewal and harmony with the natural world. And there are various forms of Misogi, but traditionally, they typically involve purifying rituals such as bathing in cold water or standing under a cold waterfall. But they can also include more peaceful activities like meditation or chanting. These activities are believed to wash away negative energies and impurities, leaving the participant spiritually refreshed and purified. In Japan, Misogi is often practiced by individuals seeking personal growth, enlightenment, or a deeper connection to nature and the divine. Overall, Misogi serves as a means of spiritual purification and renewal in Japanese culture, emphasizing the importance of cleanliness, purity, and harmony with the natural world. And more recently, Misogi as a concept has been applied to many other activities with a similar aim outside of Japan as well. While it still retains its core concept of purification and spiritual cleansing, modern Misogi can encompass a broad range of practices aimed at personal growth, self-improvement, and mental well-being. In contemporary settings, Misogi might involve practices such as extreme physical challenges. Things like engaging in physically demanding activities that push one's limits, such as extreme sports, endurance races, or intense physical workouts. These challenges, while physical in nature, not only promote physical fitness, but also cultivate mental resilience and discipline. The same way that taking a cold shower or taking a cold plunge is a challenging physical act, mental fortitude is also required to voluntarily expose yourself to the extreme cold and then to endure it for minutes, even though your mind is telling you, get out. You don't need to do this. Why are you putting yourself through this? This pain is totally unnecessary. It takes a lot of mental energy and a lot of focus to endure significant discomfort when you don't need to, especially, right? But the benefits of doing exactly this type of atypical activity are well known by those who perform Misogi. And these benefits are also very well documented. For one, these activities can improve circulation, enhance cardiovascular health, strengthen the immune system, and boost overall physical endurance and resilience. And the intense focus and concentration required during Misogi rituals can help clear the mind of distractions and promote mental clarity. This heightened awareness can lead to improved concentration, focus, and cognitive function. There are emotional benefits to Misogi as well. Enduring challenging conditions during Misogi, such as cold water exposure or physical exertion, can foster emotional resilience and mental toughness. This is because overcoming discomfort and adversity in controlled settings can help you develop coping strategies and build emotional strength. Participating in Misogi rituals can provide a sense of release and relaxation, helping to reduce stress and promote emotional well-being. The meditative aspects of Misogi, such as deep breathing and mindfulness practices, can induce a state of calmness and tranquility as well. Then there's, of course, the spiritual connection that is awakened through Misogi. Many practitioners of Misogi view it as a spiritual practice that fosters a deeper connection to nature, the universe, and one's inner self. Immersing oneself in natural elements like water or participating in ritualistic purification ceremonies can evoke a sense of reverence, awe, and interconnectedness with the world around us. And then there's the positive impacts that Misogi has on your day-to-day routine. When you endure something so difficult and so uncomfortable, it forces your mind to do a reboot and to see everything that you take for granted each day with new eyes and a refreshing perspective. Your sense of gratitude for things like a delicious meal, a gathering with your friends, and of course a warm shower will swell. Things like the color of the sky and your surrounding landscape can even seem brighter and much more vivid after performing Misogi. And your predictable daily routine will seem like a welcome respite after enduring something so mentally challenging and physically draining. You'll likely look upon what previously seemed like a boring daily slog with renewed vigor and appreciation for having the opportunity to do the work that you get to do. So, you guessed it, my challenge for you today is to plan your own personal Misogi. Be creative, but don't overthink it. And remember, what qualifies for Misogi for one person doesn't necessarily qualify for Misogi for another. For example, for a triathlete that specializes in sprint triathlons, doing another sprint triathlon doesn't qualify as Misogi because participating in sprint triathlons for that athlete is too routine. However, if that same athlete decides to try an Ironman triathlon for the first time, that would qualify as Misogi because it's a significantly more challenging event than the athlete has attempted in the past. But for someone else, trying a cold plunge for the first time, or meditating for 30 minutes for the first time, or even going surfing or skiing for the first time could qualify as Misogi. The main requirement is that it be something you've never tried before or something that you've done before but never at such an extremely challenging level. Also, an important note here is that Misogi is not something you brag about to your friends or post on social media for a few likes. Misogi are deeply personal journeys that are designed to help you better connect with yourself and with nature by reflecting inward. It's something designed to push your limits and recalibrate your own previously perceived capabilities. And after you complete your first Misogi, take some time to observe and appreciate the refreshed perspective it provides on nearly anything you engage in for days or even weeks. So be sure to pepper your schedule with a Misogi here and there throughout each year. Your mind, body, and spirit will thank you for it. Thank you so much for joining this episode of the Manifest Your Greatness podcast, and I look forward to spending time with you again on an episode in the near future. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Manifest Your Greatness podcast. If you liked what we've explored on this episode, then you'll love the Manifest Your Greatness coaching program. The Manifest Your Greatness coaching program is uniquely tailored to help support you on your journey to become the absolute best version of yourself. So if you are committed to taking the steps required to significantly and permanently level up in any area of your life, visit manifestyourgreatness.com/contact. Again, that's manifestyourgreatness.com/contact and schedule your free consultation call today. Talk soon.